investment that will receive a company which will receive something which is denominated in USD, and it's pretty much fixed 5 years from now, and will receive and wants to fix euros. Question: does one need, if the only thing I'm interested in is foreign exchange risk, do I need to make a 5-year FX forward? Όχι. Exactly. What's the alternative?
Μπορώ να πάω να κλείσω τη θέση μου οποιαδήποτε στιγμή θέλω με ένα πιο χαμηλό maturity.
Exactly. I could have an FX forward of 1 month. And then this 1 month finishes, I have another FX forward and another FX forward. As long as I don't leave gaps, I'm fully covered for FX risk. What am I not covered for? Remember in the first class, the Metal-Gesellschaft, the change of the exchange of the interest rates. Exactly. 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 So it's the change of interest rates that I'm not covered for. By the way, do you all remember the interest rate parity theorem for FX? The parity, exactly. We'll do it again. This is the one derivative that you need to remember for one simple reason. It's very simple and very deep. You know, what is the fair exchange rate? Given today's exchange rate of Euro and USD, what is the fair exchange rate 5 years from now? How do we do that? Very simple. We say the no arbitrage argument. The no arbitrage argument.
Παίρνουμε την τερνή ισοτιμή και κάνουμε με τα interest rate.
Ακριβώς. The no arbitrage argument is the following. I start with nothing, okay, and I start with nothing. Okay? I borrow 100 million euros. Okay? Let's go. Just one moment. How did this go? I forgot this. Okay. I have nothing. I borrow 100 million euros. Okay? I switch it to USD at today's interest rate. Okay? So, step one, borrow euro 100 million. 2, switch to USD at spot. It's called spot rate. 3, put USD in bank. Okay? 4, in 5 years, take USD plus interest from bank. Okay? 5, exchange USD plus interest to euros at forward rate. Remember, this forward rate will have to be agreed upon today. Okay? 6, use proceeds to pay back euro loan. Which euro loan? This euro loan. Step 1. So I start with nothing, which means that at the end of this whole thing, I have to end with nothing. Okay? Otherwise, since I have let's say I start with nothing, at the end of this whole thing, given the correct set of parameters, I can lock a result. Okay? Since a result can be locked, then this result has to be 0. Be very careful. The no arbitrage principle does not say that I start with nothing and have to end with nothing. It says I start with nothing, and if I have a fixed amount in the end, then this has to be 0. I could start with nothing and have a distribution of payoffs. But if I have a certain payoff, it will have to be 0. Otherwise, I've created something certain out of nothing. So, what does this mean? It means that the euros, the amount of the euros in the amount of euros in 5 years from now, so euro amount, which is how much? It's going to be 100 million, 100 million times 1 plus interest rate of euro. We said 5 years to the 5th. It's going to be, what is it going to be? The spot rate of USD $100 million times spot rate times 1 plus raw USD, because I put it in the bank, over the forward rate of Euro USD. Because I switch it to say 110 million Euro USD, I put 110 million USD in the bank, I watched it να ανατοκίζεται, and then I have fixed the forward rate to do the exchange. This means, then I take this 100 million off, sorry, to the 50. It means that the forward rate is going to be the spot rate times 1 plus R USD to the 5th over 1 plus R Euro to the 5th. So, if my current rate is $1.1 per euro, okay, and the interest rate of the dollar is higher than my forward rate, okay, is it going to be a rate that corresponds to an appreciation of the dollar or a depreciation of the dollar? Currencies whereby the forward rate is going to be 1.05 or 1.15 if the USD rate is higher.
Όχι.
No. Yes, 1.10 will go to 1.15.
Yeah,
Is this an appreciation or a depreciation?
Depreciation.
It's a depreciation, exactly. So, currencies with high interest rates, their forward exchange rates correspond to depreciation. Now,
Depreciation for the dollar.
for the dollar, exactly. So, this was just an aside. In this exercise, we said Euro and USD rates are equal. Therefore, these two things are equal, so the forward rate is equal to the spot rate. Exactly. And are assumed constant. Okay? Why is this last statement important, are assumed constant? Because it allows me to connect future mark-to-market moves of the remaining FX forward, because this is a 5-year forward, 1 year it's a 4-year forward, it's a 3-year forward, solely to the moves of the exchange rates. So when I simulate this, okay, I don't have to have a concurrent simulation of the currency pair exchange rate and the interest rates to find out the distribution of future scenarios for the index forward. Okay? Well, I think we've run out of time. So, this is the way it's set up. It's very simple. It's very simple. We will do it. Essentially, what are we going to do? We're going to run a Monte Carlo of what? Log normal distributed random numbers to simulate what? The Euro USD FX rate. Okay? Euro USD FX rate. By simulating the Euro USD FX rate, what do we simulate? We simulate future market markets. By setting the negative ones to 0 and taking the average, we get expected exposures.
Okay.
So we have the expected exposures. You verify that they are approximately equal to this. This is the linear approximation of the Blackett-Scholes. 4/10 times sigma times square root of t. Essentially, you will have, trying to find the expected exposure, inadvertently calculated the price of the call option via Monte Carlo. Okay? Then, we will translate this 5% per year probability of default in hazard rate. The first year is 5%, the second year is 95% times 5%, etc., etc. We multiply expected exposure with probability of default, discount.
Recovery rate and power.
I think we say, yeah, recovery is assumed 0. We're trying to make this as simple as possible.
And we find this in
And then, one thing we'll see is how much would this guy need to be charged so that I, the bank, gets fairly compensated for his credit risk. These are realistic numbers. Okay? And then we'll see, is this acceptable to the client? Does the client really need to have such a big, such a long transaction? We'll see it's kind of a substantial number. For 100 million transaction, it will come out, a couple of million. And also, another question, does this extra charge eliminate the credit risk? Does it eliminate? Being fairly compensated for the risk at inception is not the same as eliminating the risk. These are two very, very different things. Again, even at board level, bankers have this confusion that having a fair compensation means that I can forget this risk. I can't forget this risk. I'm just avoiding losing money on an expected value basis. Still though, this guy could default. At which point, the charge I charged him at the beginning is just a drop in the ocean. Okay, we'll start this next time. And also say to the other guys that we can get together and find office hours for a couple of hours.
But